Welcome to our YouTube channel, where wisdom meets inspiration. In this channel, we share valuable insights to help you become the best version of yourself. Our content is designed to uplift your spirit and enrich your life. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay connected with this incredible journey. Click the subscribe button below.
Respected Swamijis, also dignitaries who are there on the stage until now. I remember them also for their presence. Captain Ganesh Karnik, I think I can now call ourselves as good friends now, sir.
Yes.
And of course, respected teachers, also MUT volunteers and other Swamijis here, maybe Swamijis in the making. And of course, students, friends. We just opened this calendar which says, never say no, never say I cannot, for you are infinite. Even time and space are nothing compared to your nature, compared with your nature. You can do anything and everything because you are the Almighty. I think what a nice thing to keep on our table and remind ourselves about it on a daily basis. Thank you, Swamiji, for whoever made this and the thought that has gone into this. I am not an expert in Vedanta nor an expert in Vivekananda. We only, get to read a few things, hear a few people, Swamijis like this. And so I'll try to glean from whatever I have been or done something or learned, a few minutes of maybe something interesting, something useful to everyone in the room today. Where I come from is because I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for now more than 30 years. We see a lot, maybe thousands and thousands of young people, students. And I want to remind ourselves, teachers in the room, that the world today is very different from the world that we grew up in when we were children, when we were students. Sir, when a mother today tells the child, go out and play, because the child is looking at a digital device all the time, and after a few minutes she finds that the child is outside in the garden, but still playing with a digital device. The child says, but I am playing outside. Okay, the student does not know playing means not playing on the digital device, or playing outside means actually playing under the sun with friends, people like that. I know one incident recently happened that my wife's cousin came to our home. My daughter was there, about maybe 10-year-old, and my wife's cousin also had a daughter around the same age. And when they came, it's like these days families are very small, right? And students or kids don't talk to each other, they don't make friends. So they actually looked at each other as strangers. And both mothers are watching their daughters. Will they become friends? They're just sitting separately, looking at each other, not talking to each other. Then finally one of the mother got an idea. She told the daughter, my wife told our daughter, why don't you take your cousin into your room? So she did that. Both of them went into the room. After some time, we're all talking to each other, but we're also listening what is happening from inside. After some time, we could hear laughter. Both girls are laughing. So now we were curious, why are they laughing? So I go inside, peep through the door. You know what is happening? One girl is sitting on one bed, other girl is sitting on the other bed. They're exchanging jokes with each other on their mobile phones. So this is a very different life that we see our children, our students now. I think what we see now is that and we see students who are going from late teenagers to early adults. How many of you are now plus minus 20 years here in the room? 20 years plus minus 2, 3, 4 years. Really, a lot of people who are less than 20 plus minus 5 years. 15 years, 25 years. Really, you are younger than them? All the girls here? Less than 15 years? More than 25 years. You don't look younger than 15 years. You don't look older than 25 years. What is the question mark there? No, they're girls. Sorry. I'm sorry. I should not ask your age. Sorry about that. Anyway, we see a lot of those young people. I think, and also I hear the young people that they are dejected, depressed. They're saying, no employment opportunities. Even if you get employed, look at all the companies, they're spoiling the environment. So employment versus environment. The world is a VUCA world. Have you heard of VUCA world? VUCA? Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. And it has become more VUCA every day. So students are saying we cannot deal with the world. Now look at what the information technology has done. Because of IT and Google, you don't want to read books anymore. You don't want to memorize anything. Why? I will Google, they will say. Why should I memorize? Why should I read books? And then when this social media has come, obviously these friendships have gone, real play has gone out. Okay? Real empathy has gone also, I would say. And now there is something called as AI, Open AI, generative AI, Chat GPT. How many have tried Chat GPT, sir? Madams, friends? Really? Go and try it out. Or maybe don't try it out. Let me tell you, don't do that. I know when I say don't do that, you will do it. So I'm telling you that. Now, Chat GPT, generative AI, artificial intelligence is thinking away the last thing that we human beings possess, which is thinking skills, intellectual skills, reasoning skills. That is going to go away. So what we have today is excessive information, poor insights, low inspiration. That is what we all think, okay? But let me come back to youth. And I think remembering Vivekananda today and the role of the youth in nation building, I cannot but say one more small insight I met a freedom fighter. Remember, I am 60 years today roughly. And I met someone who was in his late 80s or must be now today, above 100 if he's alive today. I met this man. My daughter was invited for some puja in their house. I went back to pick up my daughter. And there was this very shining shining serious person, senior person. And he started talking. And he started saying, you young people, I was by the time about 50 years, I was not that young. He said, you young people, you are not doing anything for the country. You are selfish people. We fought for the political freedom of the country. And what are you doing for the country? So I say, after hearing for 5 minutes, banging, I said, sir, we are also fighting for the freedom of the country. Then I had to stop him somehow, right? He's hammering me all the time. So what do you mean by that? You are young, you didn't even see, you are born after freedom movement. I said, sir, you worked for the political freedom of the country. Our generation, who is creating science and technology and industries and all that, we are working for the economic freedom of the country, making the country a developed country, so there are no more people. In our childhood, we should be people without hungry people, poor people, without clothes, people like that. Now we don't see abject poverty anymore. But I think we have one more step to go, which I think we are seeing is an intellectual freedom. If you look at today, our kids like to go to, let's say, McDonald's and eat a pizza, rather than go to, maybe Dakshin Kannada is different, maybe you go to Kamath and go and take idli or dosa or whatever, but that's not true in most of the country. Somehow we are brainwashed into thinking the Western way is the way to go. And many of the problems which you see are because of that. Whether it's plastic pollution, whether it is a mental pollution, anything like that, many of them are originated from the West. Now West is now falling back. They are now trying to sell as yoga and haldi. And latest, have you heard about intermittent fasting? New fashion, intermittent fasting. I asked them, sir, what is intermittent fasting? You fast from whatever, this time to this time, best done if it's once in 15 days. Now that is what is our, you know what I'm talking about. And this also, we do it on a particular day of the month. I will not tell you what we are. And they say that the Kepler or Galileo invented or discovered the 9 planets. Go to any temple, you have the Navagrahas there. So but we don't believe that. We read in the books, we write in the answer books that planets are discovered by someone. So I think we need to rediscover ourselves in terms of intellectual freedom also. Beyond that, of course, we have spiritual freedom. I am not qualified to speak about that. We will wait for the Swamijis to think about it. But in all those freedoms, I think Vivekananda is a great, great inspiration. What he has said more than 100 years back, 130 years back, is true even today. And I want to just take one quotation from Vivekananda, which most of you heard about. Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. Now, I feel that this has meaning to us in a practical life, simple practical meaning, and also it has meaning in the spiritual part of it. Spiritual, again, I will not talk about it. But practical life, when you talk about simple meaning, Arise means what? Get up from your bed. Awake, open your eyes. Stop not, which means do your work until the goal is reached, until you are successful. Okay. Now the question is, of course, what is success today? And I would like to have talked much more than, but I'll cut it short. I will only leave a question in your mind saying, what is your swadharma? As a student or as a teacher or as a guru or whatever it is. And swadharma definition, if you go to Bhagavad Gita and if you go to scriptures, again I don't want to quote them. Whatever little I know is that do what comes your way in a natural way. Do not grab someone else's life, someone else's career. You don't think that that sounds interesting or that looks interesting, so let me do that job. Now that is a real definition. That is a scriptural definition. But then if I ask you or tell you one more quotation, there's a quotation which says that go with the flow in life. Have you heard about that? And there's one more quotation which says swim against the tide. Now again that looks like a reversal thing. Go with the flow, swim against the tide. If I go by Swadharma definition, it says go what is comes naturally to you. But it comes naturally to me, should I go along this direction or go that direction? But you have to go deep into the meanings. The point I want to say is that as a youth, okay, and yesterday I was having two meetings in NITK. One meeting where I addressed about 150, 170 students. And yesterday I addressed about 200 plus faculty. Some of them are sitting in the front row here. Okay. In both the events, after my talk was over, I said, do you have any questions? And there were no questions. Students don't ask questions these days. Faculty also don't ask questions. And I make it very easy. I am telling there's no problem. I have no ego issues. If I don't know the answer to some question, I have no problem. What is your problem asking questions? But the youth today have stopped asking questions. I want to give one small example because of questions. I remembered one story. Recently, I gave an examination as a teacher to students, said they will answer any 5 questions out of 6. And the question paper had only 5 questions. Now students ask questions, sir, where is the 6th question? I told them 6th question you are going to write yourself. And you are going to also write in the question how to correct the question, answer to the question. And then you write the answer. So you write the question, write how to correct the answer to the question, and write the answer to the question. So far so good. After examination over, I am getting all the answer books to the next class. And then I told the students, I didn't have time to correct the answer books. You are going to correct it yourself. Now this is not new. Many teachers who are lazy, what they do is they will give, madam, what's your name? Tell me your name, student. Okay, Fatima, let us say. Okay. So Fatima's answer book will be given to Arun and vice versa. So teachers will not give the same answer book to each other. What I did was, I gave Arun's answer book to the Arun and Fatima's answer book to Fatima. Now students are very scared. Sir, I correct my own answer book myself? I said yes. Because we have all now the rules of how to correct the answer papers. You won't believe one student started crying. Sir, I can't correct my own answer book. I get very low marks. Sir, you only give me low marks. I don't want to give low marks to myself. My point is, we got to learn to ask questions, question questions, create questions, and then of course find answers to questions. So I said in a very plain, normal life, he can talk about the real questioning that all of us have to do about who am I, right? I mean, I'll end by saying one small thing, that a few more quotations which give answers to some of the points which I told you. My father used to say, and I think I now found Vivekananda said almost same thing, that we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. You see all the answers. With employment or the intellectual freedom, everything is in one quotation from Swamiji. Now the other question is that what should you do as students or young people in life? Teachers are old, let us leave them alone. Okay? We are already kind of close to retirement. But students, what should you do in life? What is the right thing you should do? What is your swadharma? Again, Swamiji has given very, very beautiful quotation. The only way to do great work is to do what you love or love what to do. Just think about it. I'm not going to tell you the exact quotation. You have two ways to look at it. Love what you do or do what you love. Both are partially okay, but you have to find even within them which is the correct thing for you. Okay. And finally, I will give you just a hint of the final quotation from Swamiji, which is that education, and also I meant now that education has to come from inquiry. Whether you inquire the books, inquire from the teachers, or inquire from the gurus, education can come only from inquiry. So ask, please, if there's anything, one thing that you leave today, please start asking questions. And to teachers, I would tell in the room, and also those students who will become teachers, there's nothing like no one is a student, no one is a teacher. Everyone is a student, everyone is a teacher. I only ask you or request you, please start asking questions. Doesn't matter whether other person knows the answer or not. If they don't know the answer, together find out the answer, but discussion. Okay? So this is a good thing. So education is the manifestation of the perfection which is already in us. That is the one. Last. Whatever I said so far, there's one fantastic quotation which I love to end my talk with. The common success factor which I mentioned, whether it is success in physical world or success in the spiritual world, there's only one common success factor. And what Swamiji says, that is purity, patience, and perseverance are the three essentials for success. Purity of your, you can say, thought, your vision, your purity of purpose, I would say. Okay? Whatever you want to do, is it for yourself or is it for society? Very simple acid test. That itself, in my opinion, gives you purity. Okay? Patience. Things don't happen tomorrow. I have teachers coming and said, shall we do this tomorrow? I said, have patience. We'll start. We will start, we'll put the things in place, but do not start worrying when it will happen, because the success is not in your hands. Only the inputs are in your hands, output is not in your hands. Just believe that. So I said patience. And then finally perseverance. Just because something doesn't happen, you don't give up. I tell people that the best thing to happen in life is failure. And Swamiji also says, if you succeed, well, that is great. If you fail, you can always teach others. And we have a nice joke among teachers. If you want to learn a new subject, teach. The students will suffer first time, but the teacher will learn a lot more. Thank you very much.
Become Swami Vivekananda's messenger. Share the video with 3 of your friends.